Alhamdulillah. طيب. So before I pick up from where we left off, I just wanted to backtrack and catch something that I missed. I forgot to come back to, and that is here. إذ كان تأويل الرؤية وتأويل كل معنى يضاف إلى الربوبية بترك التأويل ولزوم التسليم. He says, the ta'wil, the interpretation or the explanation of al-ru'ya, seeing God, وَتَأْوِيلُ كُلِّ مَعْنًى, and the ta'wil, interpretation or explanation of every meaning, yudafu ila rububiyyah, that is attributed to or related to Godhood, bitarki ta'wil. It is by abandoning explanation, abandoning interpretation. So I translated that for you last time, but there was a comment that I meant to give you, which was that it appears from this statement that Imam At-TaHawi negates ta'wil, negates alternative interpretation. And to attribute that to him would be a mistake. To attribute that Imam At-TaHawi negates ta'wil altogether, that would be a mistake. Because his text, the words of his text prove that he does accept ta'wil. Just like when he said, Minhu bada bila kayfiyatin qawla. From him, from Allah Ta'ala, the Quran appeared without a how. Bila kayfiyah. Right there where he said, Bila kayfiyah, we knew that he is a practitioner of ta'wil. However, it appears that his position is non-specific ta'wil, not to assign a particular alternative interpretation when it comes to the issue of ta'wil. So that's the meaning of what Imam At-TaHawi said about ta'wil in this sentence here. Now, from there, one could go into the issue of ta'wil. We're not going to do that. All we're going to do, with the permission of Allah, is translate this text to see what it contains without the extra explanation, without the detailed elaboration that would make someone not really see where does the text stop and where does the explanation start. We don't want to go into some detailed explanation like that so that we can see what's the text saying. So that's what I wanted to backtrack to. And also, I want to repeat something that I read last week and start from there, which is here that Imam At-TaHawi said, فَهَذِهِ جُمْلَةُ مَا يَحْتَاجُ إِلَيْهِ مَنْ هُوَ مُنَوَّرٌ قَلْبُهُ مِنْ أَوْلِيَاءِ اللَّهِ تَعَالَى. He says this is a jumlah of what someone whose heart is enlightened amongst the awliya of Allah needs. This is a jumlah amongst what someone whose heart is enlightened amongst the walis, the awliya of Allah need. Last week I wasn't satisfied with the translation, so I wanted to just go back and review that to see if we could get that better. There's more than one way to explain this. فهذه جملة ما يحتاج إليه من هو منور قلبه. This is a jumla. So what's this? فهذه. This meaning locking the heart to these convictions that have been mentioned. Locking the heart onto believing in Allah and His Messenger. هذه جملة ما يحتاج إليه من هو منور قلبه. This is jumlatun, a aslun. This is a fundamental. يحتاج إليه يتمسك به. This conviction is a fundamental that the believer must hold fast to. So that's one way to explain this. فهذه جملة ما يحتاج إليه من هو منور قلبه. This conviction, believing in Allah and His Messenger, is jumlatun aslun. This is a base. Jumlatu ma yahtaju ilayhi aslun yatamassaku bihi. It is a base that al-mu'min alladhi huwa munawwarun qalbuhu, the one whose heart is enlightened, the believer, al-mu'min, holds fast to. This is what he needs. This is what he holds fast to. So that's one way to explain that statement of Imam At-TaHawi. And also it could be explained to mean فَهَذِهِ. And so this, what has been mentioned about destiny thus far in this document, جُمْلَةُ مَا يَحْتَاجُ إِلَيْهِ مَنْ هُوَ مُنَوَّرٌ قَلْبُهُ. It is the synopsis. It is the synopsis, the general amount of what someone needs to be a wali. It is a synopsis of what someone needs in the issue of destiny, concerning the issue of destiny, to be a wali, to be a saint. As if he's saying, believe like this concerning destiny, what's mentioned here in this text. And this is amongst the requisites for becoming a saint. فَهَذِهِ جُمْلَةُ مَا يَحْتَاجُ إِلَيْهِ مَنْ هُوَ مُنَوَّرٌ قَلْبُهُ مِنْ أَوْلِيَاءِ اللَّهِ تَعَالَى. This presentation of destiny is a synopsis of what someone whose heart is enlightened amongst the saints of God needs. Yani to be a saint. وَهِيَ دَرَجَةُ الرَّاسِخِينَ فِي الْعِلْمِ. And that is a rank, or the rank of those who are firmly rooted in the knowledge. لِأَنَّ الْعِلْمَ عِلْمَانِ. And this is where we pick up from where we left off. لِأَنَّ الْعِلْمَ عِلْمَانِ. Because the knowledge is of two kinds, two types. عِلْمٌ فِي الْخَلْقِ مَوْجُودٌ. Knowledge that is accessible, achievable to the creations. وَعِلْمٌ فِي الْخَلْقِ مَفْقُودٌ. And knowledge that is inaccessible, unachievable for the creations. So if I translate it very literally, a knowledge in the creations that is present, mawjood, or existent. and a knowledge in the creation that is missing. فإنكار so علم في الخلق موجود, knowledge in the creation that is present. Like what? Like what the creations know intuitively, such as knowing that some of something is less than all of it. That's present in the creations and achievable. And also knowledge that occurs by thinking and deducing and concluding, like knowing that the world has a beginning. That's accessible to the creation, and included in that is learning the religious knowledge, and that's praiseworthy, and also learning the beneficial worldly knowledge like medicine and math and language and trades, and that's praiseworthy. And some knowledge is accessible to the creation and it's haram, like magic. And some knowledge is inaccessible to the creation, like when Judgment Day will occur. At-TaHawi says, فَإِنْكَارُ الْعِلْمِ الْمَوْجُودِ كُفْرٌ. And so, denying the accessible knowledge accessible to the creations, is blasphemy, like denying that the world exists, or denying that the world has a beginning. وَادِّعَاءُ الْعِلْمِ الْمَفْقُودِ كُفْرٌ. And claiming the inaccessible knowledge, like when Judgment Day will occur, is blasphemy. وَلَا يَثْبُتُ الْإِيمَانُ إِلَّا بِقَبُولِ الْعِلْمِ الْمَوْجُودِ وَتَرْكِ طَلَبِ الْعِلْمِ الْمَفْقُودِ. And faith is not firm but by accepting the accessible knowledge and abandoning seeking the inaccessible knowledge, like the secret of destiny that's inaccessible to the creation. One must not seek that. And when Judgment Day will occur, one must not seek that. وَنُؤْمِنُ بِاللَّوْحِ وَالْقَلَمِ. And we Muslims believe in the tablet, the guarded tablet. That tablet which it is 500 years across, and its height is like what's between the earth and the sky. Written in that tablet is the destinies of the creations. Like what I said, you said denying the knowledge which is accessible is kufr. Like what I said, take the amount that I said. To be honest with you, I didn't even finish reading the rest of your question. And I was going to say, after I said all of what I said, don't ask me more about this. But I said, it's okay, I won't say that. So just the amount that I said, leave it there. And then maybe another time we can get more detail, inshallah. Barakallahu fikum. So we believe in the tablet, al-lawh, the board. Wal-qalam, and the pen, the high pen. Those were the third and fourth creations after the water and the arsh. That tablet in the hadith is referred to as dhikr, the dhikr. And in the Quran, maybe in some spots referred to as dhikr. Now I don't recall. And also it's referred to in the Quran sometimes as a kitab, a record. And also it's referred to in the Quran sometimes as an imam. An imam. You know, like the same word as the one who leads the prayer. The imam, but with a different meaning. So that's one of the words mentioned in the Quran that referred to the tablets, al-lawh. And it's called al-lawh in the Quran too. Fi lawhin mahfuz, in a guarded tablet. And we believe in the pen, wal qalami wa ma yasturun. Wa bi jami'i ma fihi qad ruqim. And we believe in all of what is documented in the tablet, meaning that it is documented. We believe that what is documented in the tablet is truly documented there, which is everything that's going to happen in the dunya. Qad ruqim, it has been documented. Really. Truly. فَلَوْ اجْتَمَعَ الْخَلْقُ كُلُّهُمْ عَلَى شَيْءٍ كَتَبَهُ اللَّهُ تَعَالَى فِيهِ أَنَّهُ كَائِنٌ. And so, had the creation gathered, all of them, for something that Allah Ta'ala wrote in that tablet, that it shall be, or that it is, لِيَجْعَلُوهُ غَيْرَ كَائِنٍ, so that they could make it not be. لَمْ يَقْدِرُوا عَلَيْهِ, they would not be able to do so. وَلَوْ اجْتَمَعُوا كُلُّهُمْ عَلَى شَيْءٍ لَمْ يَكْتُبْهُ اللَّهُ تَعَالَى فِيهِ. And had they gathered, all of them, for something that Allah Ta'ala did not write in that tablet, لِيَجْعَلُوهُ كَائِنًا, so that they could make it be, لَمْ يَقْدِرُوا عَلَيْهِ, they would not be able. جَفَّ الْقَلَمُ بِمَا هُوَ كَائِنٌ إِلَى يَوْمِ الْقِيَامَةِ. The pen is dried with what, the pen has written and finished writing. That's the meaning of saying the pen dried. It means it wrote and finished writing everything. The pen dried with what is until Judgment Day, until Resurrection Day. وَمَا أَخْطَأَ الْعَبْدَ لَمْ يَكُنْ لِيُصِيبَهُ. And whatever missed the slave of God was never going to hit him. So he's talking about destiny there. That's how much At-TaHawi is talking about destiny in this text. So we see very well Imam At-TaHawi's use of repetition here in the issue of destiny, and also in other spots where he repeated himself. He repeated himself about the knowledge of Allah, and that's directly related to destiny. And he repeated himself about Allah not resembling the creation, more than one spot. وَلَا شَيْءَ مِثْلُهُ, he said there. And he said, لَيْسَ كَمِثْلِهِ شَيْءٍ. There means nothing is like him, both of those. And he said, لَيْسَ فِي مَعْنَاهُ أَحَدٌ مِنَ الْبَرِيَّةِ. there is not having his attribute any of the creation. And other statements he said that clear Allah from resemblance. So here's another example of his repetition here. He's talking about destiny again when he said, and whatever missed the slave was not going to hit him, and whatever hit him was not going to miss him. وَمَا أَصَابَهُ لَمْ يَكُنْ لِيُخْطِئَهُ. Whatever hit him was not going to miss him, was never going to miss him. Whatever missed him was never going to hit him, and whatever hit him was never going to miss him. Because it has here, I'm saying never, because it has here lamul juhud, this lam here. Lam yakun liyusiba, it was never going to hit him. And also here, same lam, lamul juhud. Lam yakun liyukhti'ah, it was never going to miss him. وعلى العبد أن يعلم أن الله قد سبق علمه بكل كائن من خلقه. And on the slave, meaning obligatory on the slave, is knowing that Allah, His knowledge was prior to every being amongst His creations. He said, does that mean we cannot say that this shouldn't have happened or this wasn't meant to happen? So it depends on what the person means by that. So if he means there's no destiny, that's for sure we can't say that. فَقَدَّرَ ذَلِكَ تَقْدِيرًا مُحْكَمًا مُبْرَمًا. And so he destined that. What's that? What Allah knew prior to every created being. What Allah knew prior to every created being, He predestined that. تَقْدِيرًا مُحْكَمًا مُبْرَمًا. A decisive, definitive, inevitable predestining. He predestined that. A decisive, inevitable predestining. So here Imam At-TaHawi, he mentioned Al-Qadar, what? Al-Mubram. Al-Qadar al-Mubram. That's the inevitable destiny. This is the destiny that does not change. And that's what Imam At-TaHawi said here. لَيْسَ فِيهِ نَاقِض. This predestination has no nullifier. وَلَا مُعَقِّبْ. Nor does it have a delayer or postponer. وَلَا مُزِيلْ. Nor does it have a remover. وَلَا مُغَيِّرْ. Nor does it have an alterer or changer. وَلَا مُحَوِّلْ. Nor does it have a rearranger. وَلَا نَاقِصٌ وَلَا زَائِدٌ مِّنْ خَلْقِهِ. Nor does it have a subtractor, nor does it have an adder. Min khalqihi, from the creation of God, from a single creation of God. Fi samawatihi wa ardihi, in all of His heavens and His earth. So then doesn't change. That's clear. That's the right belief. So here, in this issue, common mistake, that its source is reading without learning first. When someone comes across some hadiths about pending destiny, qadar mu'allaq, but it's not mentioned. The ta'liq, the pending, is not mentioned in the hadith. Only the word qadar is mentioned in the hadith, or few hadiths that some people come across. And those hadiths that merely mention the word qadar are concerning the pending destiny, not the inevitable destiny. So this is a very important case to know and to clarify for others. Because this is a mistake that's not about being a Wahhabi or not. What's this pending destiny? That's what's meant in what was narrated. إِنَّ الْحَذَرَ لَا يُغْنِي مِنَ الْقَدَرِ. Indeed, caution does not prevent destiny. That means inevitable destiny. Caution indeed does not prevent inevitable destiny. وَإِنَّ الدُّعَاءَ لَيَدْفَعُ الْقَدَرِ. And indeed, supplication repels pending destiny. But it doesn't say pending there, it just says destiny. So if you just took the words of this report alone, they would say, indeed, caution does not prevent destiny, and indeed, supplication repels destiny. So that's two different things mentioned there. One of them is the inevitable destiny, and one of them is the pending destiny. What is that pending destiny? And let's try to keep this brief here. The pending destiny is that Allah Ta'ala knows all possible outcomes. And He knows which outcomes will never come to fruition, which outcomes shall never manifest. And He knows which outcomes are inevitable. So those outcomes that He knows that had they been, they would have been like this or like that, but He knows that they never shall be, that's the pending destiny. And as for what He knows will be for sure, that's the inevitable destiny. Is there any evidence, any other evidence for this pending destiny? Indeed, there's plenty of evidence for that pending destiny. Like the story of Al-Khadir sallallahu alayhi wasallam. Didn't Al-Khadir explain to Prophet Moses alayhi salatu wassalam that he damaged the ship of the seamen because there was an unjust king who commandeers every ship, every good, suitable ship forcefully? Yes, so he was saying, had I not damaged the ship, he would have commandeered it. So I damaged it so that he wouldn't commandeer it. That's pending destiny. And then he said to Prophet Musa, and as for the boy, the youngster that I killed him because had he lived, he would have misguided his parents. So did he live to misguide his parents? No, he never did. So Allah knew that that would never happen. But Allah knew that had he lived, what would have happened? Which was that he would have misguided his own parents. That's pending destiny. And he told Musa, and I pushed up the wall because beneath that wall there was a treasure for some orphan boys. Had the wall fallen, their treasure would have been exposed and the people would have taken their treasure. So that's pending destiny. And there's other things like that too. Like in the story of Abraham, when the angel rescued Hajar and her baby in the desert by hitting the ground and making the Zamzam well spring up. And then Hajar, what did she do? Rahimahullah. She worked on the ground to make the water settle into a pool. The Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa ala alihi wasallam said that had she not done that, then the water would have flowed over the ground like a stream. So, did the water flow over the ground like a stream? No, it did not. Would it have ever? No, it would have never. That was not the inevitable destiny. But had it been other than what she did, then what would it have been? It would have been that the water flowed over the ground, over the earth, like a stream. So that's called pending destiny. So, وَإِنَّ الدُّعَاءَ لَا يَدْفَعُ الْقَدَرِ, and indeed supplication repels what? Pending destiny. It means, had you not made dua, it would be, for example, that you would have got hit by the calamity. But you made dua for protection and then Allah protected you. Or had you not made dua, you would not have received the money. But you made dua and so you got the money, for example. So that's the meaning of وَإِنَّ الدُّعَاءَ لَا يَدْفَعُ الْقَدَرِ. Indeed, supplication repels pending destiny. And so be sure, brothers and sisters, and tell your associates that denying the inevitable destiny, believing that inevitable destiny changes, which means you're denying it, because if it's inevitable, that means it's not going to change. Believing that inevitable destiny changes is really denying destiny, and that's blasphemy. وَذَلِكَ مِنْ عَقْدِ الْإِيمَانِ, and that is from having the conviction of faith. That is from having the conviction of faith. Aqdil Iman. It's a very nice expression of Imam At-TaHawi there. Aqdil Iman. Aqd here means aqidah. Aqidah means conviction. Iman means faith. So having the conviction of faith. You said, so with pending destiny, what's written on the guarded tablet? Both are written. The pending destiny is written in the guarded tablet, and the inevitable destiny is written in the guarded tablet. That's a good question, mashallah. And the angels, they record both of those, they record what they encounter in the guarded tablet. That if so-and-so does this, then this will happen. And if he doesn't, then this will happen. So they record that, and they don't know which one is the inevitable destiny, and they don't know which one is the pending destiny. Then they come to a human being with their records, and they observe him, and they see which way he goes. Whichever way he goes, then they scratch out the other one. Then that one was the pending destiny. And the one that actually happened, and the one that actually happened, that's the inevitable destiny. And then they take their records back up to the guarded tablet and compare what they have in their records of what turned out to be the definitive inevitable destiny, and they find that their records are an exact match of what's in the guarded tablet concerning the inevitable destiny. You said, I'm not sure if I'm understanding the pending destiny. Could you please repeat it in a simple term? Wallahi, I said it in a simple term. So if you can restate your question, tell me what's not clear for you. I gave so many examples. I gave 3 examples in the story of Al-Khadir. I gave the example from the story of Abraham. So I gave you very, very clear. Really, it was clear. So you have to tell me what's not clear for you. You say, do we say that God knows everything that can happen if that happened, didn't happen, meaning every possibilities? Yes. And that's exactly what I said. I said, Allah knows every possible outcome. And He knows which of those is not going to ever happen and which of those will inevitably, definitively happen. Okay. Barakallahu fikum. Imam At-TaHawi says, وَذَلِكَ مِنْ عَقْدِ الْإِيمَانِ. That is from the conviction of faith. That meaning, this is additional clarity of what has already been presented. It is from the conviction of faith, وَأُصُولِ الْمَعْرِفَةِ, and the fundamentals of knowledge, or perhaps awareness. وَالْإِعْتِرَافِ بِتَوْحِيدِ اللَّهِ تَعَالَى, and it is part of confessing about God's oneness. Exalted is He. وَرُبُوبِيَّتِهِ, and His lordship. Yani, submitting to destiny is itself a confession to the oneness of God. There's no way to really be a monotheist and deny destiny. Those two go hand in hand. Because if you understand what it means that there's destiny and inevitable destiny, then if you think about what that means properly, it will make you arrive at the fact that God is one. There's no other creator. There's only one creator. He's the one who created everything, and He's eternal and He doesn't change. So His destining then is eternal and does not change. So the destined matters then shall come out as per their inevitable destiny. كما قال تعالى في كتابه, just as He said, exalted is He in His book, وَخَلَقَ كُلَّ شَيْءٍ فَقَدَّرَهُ تَقْدِيرًا, and He created everything and thus predestined it with a predestination, or predetermined it with a predetermination, or He destined it with a destiny. وَقَالَ تَعَالَى, and He said, exalted is He, وَكَانَ أَمْرُ اللَّهِ قَدَرًا مَقْدُورًا, and the doing of Allah was a predestined destiny. Here, then Imam At-TaHawi benefited us with mentioning the maqdur. The maqdur is the destined. So that's going to be the created thing, the destined. And so what you should know then, what's very important here, is that we have the word qadar, right? Qadar means, we're going to say, destiny. Then sometimes you use this word qadar and you mean taqdir. Taqdir means destining. That's the attribute of God. And the same word qadar sometimes means maqdur. Maqdur, that means destined. So you're going to pay attention to the context. When the word qadar comes, meaning God's destining things. Or the same word qadar comes, but meaning the created, destined things. Imam At-TaHawi gave us an ayah where qadar came meaning maqdur. وَكَانَ أَمْرُ اللَّهِ قَدَرًا مَقْدُورًا. The amr of Allah, here the amr means what is done. So it's the creation. Then the creation of Allah is a destined destiny. A destined destiny. And then, furthermore, from what we took today, we're going to use the word qadar sometimes, and it means qadar what? Mubram. Mubram. That means what? Inevitable. That's how I'm translating it here. Inevitable. I hope I spelled that right. I might have spelled it wrong. Qadar mubram. And sometimes we use the word qadar to mean qadar mu'allaq. Qadar mu'allaq. That means pending. Pending destiny. Then Imam At-TaHawi said, Rahimahullah, فَوَيْلٌ لِمَنْ صَارَ لِلَّهِ تَعَالَى فِي الْقَدَرِ خَصِيمًا. And so, woe to anyone who became, for God, exalted is He, concerning destiny, an opponent. Yani, and so woe to anyone who became an opponent of God concerning destiny. Saying woe means he is dispraised and objected to. وَأَحْضَرَ لِلنَّظَرِ فِيهِ قَلْبًا ثَقِيمًا. This one he summoned for investigating destiny a sick heart. He, to investigate destiny, summoned a sick heart. What makes his heart sick? What makes his heart sick is that he's doubtful about something that's definitive. It's his doubt in what's definitive that made him keep looking instead of stopping. لَقَدِ الْتَمَسَ بِوَهْمِهِ فِي فَحْصِ الْغَيْبِ سِرًّا كَتِيمًا. And he has sought by his delusions when investigating the unseen a concealed secret. He sought a concealed secret when investigating the unseen by his delusions. وَعَادَ بِمَا قَالَ فِيهِ أَفَّاكًا أَثِيمًا. And then he became, due to what he said about destiny, a mendacious, nefarious one. He became nefarious and mendacious. Mendacious, afak, means a big liar. Afak means kadhab, a big liar. That's what mendacious means a big liar, not a regular liar. Athim means fajir, means very sinful. So I said nefarious. And we'll stop there. Wallahu tabaraka wa ta'ala a'lam. If you have a question that I can answer for you, I'll be glad to. Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah.
I got a question about the pending destiny.
Yes.
Does this count for pending destiny if I got out the way of a car? If I never got out the way of the car would hit me? That was a pending destiny?
For example. Now what I learned is that we're not going to say that there's, for example, infinite possibilities for every scenario. So maybe there's a case where there's a pending destiny, and maybe there's a case where it's not said that there's a pending destiny for a case. So if there were possible outcomes for a case, Allah knows what they would be. Hopefully that's clear.
Yeah, that's clear. I know that whatever outcome, Allah knows what it's going to be. If it'll hit me or not hit me, Allah knows.
Yes. Yani, so according to your question, whether you got hit or you didn't get hit, in reality, then that was the inevitable destiny. And then whatever didn't happen but could have happened, if it really was something that could have happened and Allah knew about it, then that was the pending destiny. And the angels may have been there with their records, and they're waiting to see which one is going to be the inevitable destiny so that they could cross out the pending one. Ameen wa fikum. You said also the angels that gather the two outcomes from the guarded tablet and observe what the person does, are they Raqib and Atid or different angels? All I know is that they are angels. There are angels who record from the guarded tablet both the pending and the inevitable without knowing which one will happen, which one is which. Because the angels, they don't know the unseen unless Allah makes them know. The Prophet ﷺ said in a hadith, no one knows what will happen tomorrow except Allah. So the angels don't know that. The angel will come and watch. He has a record and he doesn't know which one's going to happen, and he'll watch. And then when one happens, he crosses out the other. Raqib and Atid, though, they record your deeds that you do. So I don't know. I haven't learned that that's Raqib and Atid. I just learned it's angels. There are angels. They have two records.
Sheikh, could you please tell me the word, is the word definitive the same meaning as definite?
Yes.
Okay. So when you say definite, what, could you make clarification on that?
Inevitable.
Okay.
Question, so on Laylatul Qadr, when the angels gather the information relevant to their job, they only look what they need to know for the next day? You're making a leap there for me, Allahu A'lam. Just take what you know for Laylatul Qadr, and that's that. And take what you know for the issue of pending destiny, and that's that. And don't blend them.